more time off the phone since joining the group, joining the Sons of God. At first, I noticed it wasn't like a conscious decision, it just started happening. Basically, so I used to be on X a lot, and really all of the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. And I find that having the Discord group really is like, I've taken the energy I was putting there and just shifted it. And it definitely feels like a better use of that time. Well, ultimately, I think I just want to be off the phone more. I'm driving more without music and just trying to be more, I guess, present, less distractions. Just let, things be what they are. Allow some time for my mind to think. And that's, so far it's feeling good. Definitely not perfect at it. I still check every now and then, and I don't know, I feel like it's good to have a certain idea of what's going on in the world, but like, the best thing I can do, and really the best thing we can all do, is manage the world we are in at the moment. And when I say world, I don't mean the planet, I mean the space in which you can see with your eyes. Like, let's say say you jump out of a plane. Say you're going skydiving. For a really extreme example, right? Like, while you're just leaving the plane, you have there's a lot of visual things you can, see, but all you have to manage is your mind. Are you scared? Are you excited? Are you, do you feel bliss? Where's your mind at? I feel like that's the closest thing we can really get without being an astronaut to like having a worldly, like literally perspective. But Facebook, social media gives us the impression that we have a worldly perspective, but it's actually distracting us from the world that we're experiencing. Like, like right now, I'm at a truck stop. How am I managing this experience? I was just inside, I took a shower, I sat down, got some food. There's people around, there's women around. Where am I looking? This is managing my world. When people talk to me, how do I respond, etc., right? Like, there's, like, social media presents us a world that we really can't do shit about. Or, and we need to focus on the world that is right in front of us. Like, paying attention to the world conflicts is not getting me any closer to the body that I prefer, that I experience. But what is getting me closer is working in the back of that trailer all day and doing push-ups. And I did both of those today. The push-ups is more so fully on me, because obviously there's not, I have a brother holding me accountable, but I could fail, I could could give up. I don't have to. I don't have to do it, you know? I could quit the group, you know? Like, if I wanted to remove myself from this equation, I could. But I don't want to, because for the first time in my life, it feels like there's a like, I don't really know where this trajectory is going, being in the Sons of God, and really even being in this job. Like, I have an idea. Like, I hope one day I can have a company of my own, whether it's in trucking or not. Like, this may just be a vehicle for income so that I can deploy that income in a different business venture. That's very possible. Like, and I'm open to that. I have no fucking clue. I don't really care, right? Because, like, eventually trucks are probably going to get automated. Cars are literally getting automated right now. So, you know, like, people doing Uber, I'm, like, kind of worried, you know? Like, shit, we're probably a year out. And that's probably generous from, you know, being, like, I'm kind of waiting on the Robotaxi, 2-seater coupe, wireless charging, self-driving car. That would be perfect for me. It can earn me money while I'm out on the road, and then whenever I get home, I can just ring it up, be like, hey, come take me home, whatever, and get back to work. You know, like, if I'm gonna have a fucking car payment, it might as well be making me money. So that's an interesting thing to think about, and I can have a fleet of those. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. I don't know, but I know that I'm working right now, and I need to continue doing that so I can make money. Yeah, it's an interesting thing just to, like, to not. I feel like wanting is just, it's a scam. But it's like a scary scam to let go of. Because for whatever reason, the ego's like, but if I stop wanting it, it's not gonna, you know, you'll never get it because you're not gonna go after it. And that's like a personal truth, you know, like a my truth, like not the truth, but like kind of, it's bullshit, really. And I know that because I've experienced as soon as I literally every time I, like, genuinely let go, which is kind of hard to do for me. But every time I do let go of something, like, just I fucking give up, it shows up, like, immediately, like within the week. So, like, what? When will the ego, you know? When will it get it? I don't know. And I'm not really worried about when it gets it, because it, you know, it's kind of happening right now, and I'm not really sure. You know, I feel like life is gonna get, like, beautiful and, like, I don't know what words to use, because I feel that the words are gonna start dissipating, which is weird because I want to keep posting these videos. Like, how do I describe the benefits of not speaking by speaking? That doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know, but, like, every time I start these videos, I just say a couple words and then they just keep coming. I don't know, I can't really explain how it happens, other than I believe it's my higher self. It's God coming in. You know, it's basically a miracle every time. I'm not really worried about what's going to happen. I know that it's going to be good. I guess good is subjective. I know it's going to be what I need it to be, because it always is. And that's pretty neat to, like, know, not just, like, say. But I think I know it because I've said it so many times. So, you know. is. Maybe that's my next hill. How do I not want anything? And is that the key to everything? I believe it is. But we're gonna find out. I'm not really even sure how to initiate that voluntarily, because every time I've genuinely stopped wanting a thing, it was not voluntary. It was a series of events that like kind of pushed me out of it. So maybe I can manifest that? I don't know. I'm not really sure. There I am. I'm going again, trying to figure out how something's going to happen. I don't have to worry about the how. The only thing you ever have to worry about is that it will. Faith. Once you know what's going to happen, you can let go of everything else. And it just like slides into place. The universe just like gets out of the way. Like everything bends around this thing for you. And that makes it sound like burdensome on other people when I word it that way, about bending around you. But it always does it in the most elegant and complimentary way, where it's never at someone else's detriment. In fact, it's like when that happens, when the universe is bending around your will, it just picks everyone up. It does that every time. At least within the field of view of me. You should try it and tell me if that works for you too. Are there any negative consequences? I kind of doubt it, but I guess you'll have to let me know. I want to know, has anyone ever let go of wanting and regretted it? Maybe regret is part of wanting. Yeah, crazy. It's all kinds of ideas. I'm not really sure what to. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to want. Just keep doing. 10 seconds at a time. Really, it's much shorter of a time frame than 10 seconds. There's actually been like a study about that, where I don't remember the exact time frame. I think it's like 2 or 3 seconds, where they take the control group, or they take these groups, right, and they have them watching a screen that's gonna keep showing them images which either elicit positive or negative emotions, and they have them hooked up to like brain scan stuff and like whatever, so they can monitor the emotional state of the person, right? So positive thing comes up, baby laughing, the brain lights up as positive. But the thing they found in the study was that the signals, the reaction, like the state the brain was going to be in, whether positive or negative, that information would arrive before the image was displayed by just a little bit, I think it was a second or two, or it might even be milliseconds. It might be 10 milliseconds. But to me, that's just further evidence that we create. reality is happening, like, we perceive it before it shows up. Now that time delay is so small that you would never perceive it without measuring it. But that, along with like the observer effect, that those things basically convinced me like we're creating shit. We create everything with our minds, and it's just, once you realize that, but it's not like visualization works as long as you compare the emotion with it. But the reason that is because like everything is created from the unconscious programs that you already have. So, like, I guess an example I can give of how this would play out, has played out in my life, is a person I used to be friends with. There was a span of a couple weeks where he just kept coming, like when we would talk, he would tell me about these people that were like giving him weird looks, like being rude to him in person, like frequently. And I remember first thinking, why is this happening to you constantly? Like, this doesn't happen to me at all. Like, if it does, it's like once, like twice a year, maybe, right? Like, I just had one. But this, like, basically never happens where somebody's, like, weirdly rude to me. Basically, every interaction I have with people is either neutral or positive. And this really solidified to me, because the reason I said he was my friend is because of the way he treated me in some instances. And it all clicked. I was like, well, these things are happening to him because that's like his unconscious program. That's also how he treats people. So that's just like, it's literally just karma coming right back. But like, he unconsciously is creating that for himself. And the only reason my reality is different is because I treat people differently, and I have for a long enough period of time that my unconscious just, is in line with that. And really, when I say a long time, I mean like that's basically how I was raised. So like that program was set in at an early age. Like my parents are the same way. Like they don't have a ton of negative reactions from people. It's like it's actually not that, like, thank God it's actually not that complicated. There's just so many intricacies of the ego and it's funny that eventually we just end up at just fucking let it go. I don't care. Like, I really feel something that kind of has been pushing me, leaning me towards just speaking less. Not just speaking, it's really words less words. Think less with words. Pictures and emotions fine. Words not so much. Like, I need to stop with that. Or at least I'm feeling called to do that less. And I feel that with time doing that, I don't have to fight these negative patterns consciously. They're just gonna evaporate. They're just going to, like, because I'm not putting my attention on them with the words and like drumming them up. The drumming them up, there's like an epicenter that is me, and every time I drum these things up, that's just pulling them closer to me. And as soon as you stop, they just start, drifting. They're still there. Like, let's say that there's an outer wall that is you, and they start drifting out, and they're less and less influential from you, and eventually they cross that, like, the event horizon where they're no longer perceivable. And I've noticed this working in my life as true in the area of food. At a young age, I was a very picky child. And there were certain things that were just like ketchup, right? I did, for whatever reason, I did not like it. I said I did not like it. Really, I said I did not like it before I ever tried it. Not, and now it's fine, but not that I want to love ketchup, but my point is, I kept that story alive for so long, and I think it was like a year or two, maybe a year. A year of just no words about ketchup. There's other food examples too, but like, just nothing. Don't talk about it. If you don't, out of sight, out of mind. Kind of thing. But like, you're keeping these concepts out of sight, out of your gaze, out of your attention. These ideas, these stories. It's really like a story that we tell ourselves that like is perpetuated. And if you let the story you're forgetting the story. Like you're going so long without telling the story that you forgot the story. And I guess it's kind of like a movie that you saw a long time ago, and after a long time you kind of, you might remember that you saw the movie and remember like one or two things about it. Like, I don't know that I'm ever going to forget that I did not like ketchup, right? That I said I did not like the ketchup, not that I actually didn't like it. But just even the story of that I was a picky eater, I let that story die too. So like, how many, if I stopped thinking in words, if I stopped speaking and keeping all of the stories alive, what would happen? Like, I feel like all the things around the epicenter that is me, like, the only thing left would be me. And all the stories would disappear, But how do you navigate life without speaking? Already, for the most part, I basically just answer questions when asked. Like, I don't speak a lot. For the most situations, I just find that it's unnecessary. Like, I'm not adding anything. I might think about something, but like, most things don't really need to be said. It doesn't help anything. Like, it's just fucking noise. And I'm not trying to just make noise. When I speak, I like for it to actually mean something. And I have found that's basically been true for my life. Also, like, when you kind of live that way, when you do speak, people are like, they fucking listen. Because maybe it could be conscious or unconscious, but like, they know. Like, you, for the most part, you don't really say anything, but when you do, they're kind of, it's almost like they're desperate to get like a glimpse of like, what the fuck is this person all about, so bizarre. Like, growing up, I was always a quiet kid. My parents labeled me shy, but I think I was just quiet. And then I believed shy. So then it became shy because I said I was shy. But really, I was kind of like in the state that I'm in right now. But for the most part, I did not feel compelled to speak a lot. I would speak. There were, I don't know whether the fear of speaking to people came after or before the label of shy. I don't know. But I go the majority of really up till I'm 26. I'm 27 now, but like at the age of 26, or actually I might have been 27. It's fairly recently. I went through like a meditative experience, which for up until the point, I spent my life, feeling like, why am I quiet? Why am I so different in that way? No, I'm not quiet. I'm just like, I listen. I listen mostly, I answer questions, and I'll speak when I have something to say. But most of the time it's not needed. So up until that point, I'm wondering, why am I different? And then this experience happens, this meditative, just like, I don't know, I felt like I was reborn. And all of a sudden, I get this understanding of like, no, it's actually a good thing that you are this way. You are this way not by an accident. This is not a bad thing to be an observer. And as long as you speak when you want to speak, then it does not really matter the frequency at which you speak. It's fine. You can be a silent person. And it's just silent with my mouth. Like, I communicate with my hands, with my face, gestures, like I do that all the time. So it's not like I'm not communicating, it's just I'm not speaking most of the time. But this meditative experience just flipped everything. And all of a sudden, I'm grateful that I'm this way. And now I want to lean into it more. How do I exploit this? Like, how do I leverage this character trait that I was given from a young age that I repressed? Like, how do I become the best at it? The best that I can be? What does that even mean? How can I? It's like I'm learning to be myself, because I'm letting all the stories fade out. Maybe I'm not learning, I'm just becoming myself, because the stories are dying. I'm going to keep doing that. And I think there's going to come a day where I rarely speak. I will still communicate, but speaking even more so only when necessary. I'm not really worried about what that looks like, because I'm sure, it's been working this long. I sort of like I figured out how to move through the world like that fairly successfully. And now I have the positive mindset about it, so I'm going to continue doing that, and I will report back.